Taylor's shooting, just 2 months ahead of the brutal murder of George Floyd, fueled protests for racial justice that populated the American landscape in 2020. But more than 2 years later, the Justice Department announced a series of federal charges.
I spoke with the family of Breonna Taylor. This morning, they were informed that the Justice Department has charged 4 current and former Louisville Metro Police Department officers with federal crimes related to Ms. Taylor's death. Those alleged crimes include civil rights offenses, unlawful conspiracies, unconstitutional use of force, and obstruction offenses.
The federal charges announced this week allege that members of the Louisville Metro Police Department falsified the affidavit used to obtain the search warrant of Ms. Taylor's home, that this act violated federal civil rights laws, and that those violations resulted in Ms. Taylor's death.
Ms. Taylor was at home with another person who was in lawful possession of a handgun. When officers broke down the door to Ms. Taylor's apartment, that person, believing that intruders were breaking in, immediately fired 1 shot, hitting the first officer at the door. 2 officers immediately fired a total of 22 shots into the apartment. One of those shots hit Ms. Taylor in the chest and killed her. We allege that the defendants knew their actions in falsifying the affidavit could create a dangerous situation, and we allege these unlawful acts resulted in Ms. Taylor's death.
The Justice Department also contends that the officers conspired to mislead federal, state, and local authorities who were investigating the incident.
We allege that in May 2020, those 2 defendants met in a garage where they agreed to tell investigators a false story. Another indictment filed today alleges that after Ms. Taylor was shot, another LMPD officer, defendant Brett Hankison, moved from the doorway to the side of her apartment and fired 10 more shots through a window and a sliding glass door, both of which were covered with blinds and curtains.
Garland echoed the view that had it not been for alleged police overreach, Breonna Taylor would be alive today. Taylor family attorney Ben Crump later told a news conference that this was a historic day when black women saw equal justice in America after former LMPD detectives Joshua Janes and Brett Hankison and current LMPD Sergeant Kyle Meany and Detective Kelly Goodlett were all charged. Most of the charges filed carry a maximum sentence of life in prison, with the Attorney General adding that all defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Sherwin Bryceby's SABC News, New York.